Hello, everyone, and welcome to Central Coast Astronomical Society. This is our virtual club meeting for July. Tonight, we have Russ Glenn with us from Slooh Telescopes. And before we go on to him, I just want to share a couple of things about the club. Our club is located in the Central Coast, as you might imagine from the name, of California. In city San Luis Obispo is where most of the people are. And I want to share our website with you so you can see that handy. And I just need to click the right lower third to bring that up. So it is centralcoastastronomy.org, but you can also find us on Facebook by searching for that name as well. And by the way, when you're at our Facebook page, be sure to look at our member gallery group where astrophotographers from all over the club have been posting some amazing pictures. Now, during our evening, we're going to have a presentation from Russ, but I want to be sure to let you know how you can ask questions, as we're excited to have Russ with us, and hopefully if we're lucky, he'll show us some things through the Slooh telescopes tonight. But at the same time, we want to be sure to field any questions that you might have. If you have an astronomy question, later on, feel free to submit those, but we'll try to focus on Slooh. We'll bombard Russ, which you'll want to do as soon as you hear his credentials. But how are you going to contact us? Well, first of all, be sure to use the live chat. The live chat is what I'll be watching, and then I'll pass questions to Russ as we're going along. But then remember that we have our questions email address. You can email questions at centralcoastastronomy.org or text them to 805-242-6415. And I'm hearing that my audio is overmodulating, so I'm going to give that a quick tweak. And thank you, Julianne, for letting me know. So, all right, I've adjusted that. Let me know how that goes. So I'll say that number again, just in case it wasn't understandable. 805-242-6415. And this is our soft start. We're just 1 minute from the top of the hour where I'll give an official introduction. You know, with YouTube, it's really handy to start the stream a few minutes early because that's when it puts out the notice to everyone that the stream has gone live. So I'm going to keep that questions email address up. Remember, email those in or send them as a text. Don't bother calling. Operators are not standing by, but I'm standing by for emails, so we can do that. Now, one more mention with the club as we're about to start here at the top of the hour. Again, this is Central Coast Astronomical, and we're going to be having a presentation from Russ Glenn from Slooh Telescopes. So let me go ahead and give my official intro. Hello once again. It is now the top of the hour. This is Central Coast Astronomical, and I'm here with Russ Glenn, who I will introduce and pass the microphone on to him, so to speak. Let us know anytime if you have questions. We'll try to make this as interactive a presentation as we can. You can contact us through the chat, or remember you have the email address, and I'll put that phone number up one more time instead of the title card for the next event. Stay tuned after our presentation from Russ so that we can share upcoming events. So let's talk about Russ for a moment. I'm going to go ahead and share a little bit about Russ before I bring him on. So Russ is a veteran classroom teacher with 20 plus years of experience. Before joining Slooh, he taught astronomy-based physics, AP, environmental science, sustainability, cosmology, and planetary science. It's exciting to have him here, isn't it? He taught at the high school level and integrated science at the intermediate school level. Perfect person to talk about education, I'd say. He holds a BS from the College of William and Mary and an MS in space studies with a concentration in planetary science from American Public University. So without further ado, let me introduce Russ from Slooh Telescopes.
Hey, thanks. Thanks, Brian. Thanks for having me on tonight. I'm so excited to be with you guys. And I'm coming to you from just outside of Austin, Texas, Dripping Springs, Texas. We're a dark sky community, so perfect spot to be for somebody like me who loves space. I'm so thrilled to be with you guys tonight, showing you, talking about the education initiatives that we have going on here at Slooh. Talk about our education programs, talk about some of the schools that are involved with us, and show you what it's all about. So But, Brian, if you have any questions that pop up or from the audience that pops up, just, real informal. I'm just going to be showing you around, showing you what we do and talking about it, showing you some images. We'll certainly look through the telescopes at Slooh, the ones on the Canary Islands. And, so any questions that pop up, feel free to just pop right in. Okay.
Awesome. Will do. Thanks.
Great. All right. So let me start by just mentioning, I'm the Director of Education here at Slooh, and Slooh is a network of telescopes around the world. We have a Northern Hemisphere observatory and a Southern Hemisphere observatory. And what we have done, and as you'll see this emerge as I share my screen with you, is and it looks like my screen sharing is disabled. So if you could enable that, that would be great.
I should probably do something about that.
But you'll see that we've gamified astronomy education. So, taking, it's already something that everybody's super excited. People get excited about space. People love space, right? It's something, and it's such a unifying science. So we love space. It's all around us. The things that we are familiar with, the moon, the stars, the sun, they're all there. But we've made a game of it. So we have this, multiplayer game, but saying it's a game downplays it a little bit. It's such robust education. You're learning and you're having fun, and that's what the kids are doing. They're engaged with this experiential education model that we have. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and just jump right in, show you what we're up to. So this is my membership page, and everybody who is a Slooh member has a page similar to this. And we have, schools that we work with. We work with after-school astronomy clubs, but we also have this embedded into classrooms. So, we have students from 4th grade all the way up through college students working with us, which is really exciting. And I think it speaks to the depth of our curriculum that we're able to have things available for all these age groups and to make it relevant to all these age groups. I'll show you a little bit about the gamification first. So if you look at you see my name here, and you can see this is a picture of me, of course. You can tell by the beard and the bald head. No, kidding. This is Galileo, and that is our first level of gamification, is that, we've got you level up, you earn new levels by earning points on Slooh, and you earn points by doing things on Slooh. And those points are called gravity points. Which makes sense. Gravity is an incredibly important concept to understand. So we use it as a fundamental. You can see that I've got a long way to go before I earn the Herschel's badge, I earn the Herschel's level. And you can see, and we'll talk about this in just a moment, you can see I've got a nice observation that's trending right now. So we've got a little bit of a social media aspect of this, and I'll show you that in just a moment. We're sort of taking the power back from social media, and we're using it for education. We're using it for academia. We're using it for collaboration. So, but anyway, so the gravity points are how we've made it fun. Gravity points, you earn badges when you complete our quests, which I'll dive into our quests a little bit later. But you could think of them from an educational perspective as astronomy labs. They are lab programs. Real lab programs where kids are engaged with the telescopes, kids are collecting images, and then they're analyzing those images, they're learning about concepts, and they're earning points as they do this. So that makes it kind of fun for them. And also they're taking great astronomy images. And that's kind of where I want to start is, with what I believe to be certainly one of the most powerful things that we offer is the fact that we have telescopes at our disposal, and we put those at your fingertips. We give those to students. Any of our members can have access to them, and it's unlimited access. Once you're a member, you can just click on this icon right here. This is our little observatory icon. And what you'll see when you click on this, a couple of things. First of all, you'll see we can set up missions, and every student can set up missions to objects that they want to see. They also have access to their own photo hub. So every image that they take on here is collected and saved for them for later use. It also shows you what telescopes are operational. So we've got a couple things going on this evening. Now, we're very lucky to have 3 amazing scopes that are up and running. And you can see this little green dot here tells us they're up and running. We do have a couple of scopes out, but the scopes in Chile are out because of weather. So, you know, the advantage of having 2 observatories is that most nights of the year, at least one of them is going to be operational. Many nights of the year, both of them are operational, and that's awesome. Chile's out for weather. And the Canary Islands, off the coast of Morocco, these scopes are three of them are online here. Canary 2 is offline because there was a recent power outage and it did some computer damage. So we're working on that one to get that one back online. Canary 2 is actually 2 telescopes, one piggybacked on the other. And then we've got our Canary 5, which is our solar scope. So, you know, we've got great coverage from a time perspective. When it's, you know, when the sun is out over the Canary Islands and the weather's good, we're pointing that solar scope there and collecting, and you can collect images there. As soon as the sun goes down, we get these telescopes to come out. And let's just go pop over and take a look. We're just doing kind of a potluck tonight. We're going to see what people are looking at. So let's go to Canary 1. This is our half meter. It's our largest telescope. It's a plane wave telescope. You know, earlier this evening, we had a really special event, a couple of special events, where we were looking at the waxing crescent moon through Canary 1, and then we also pointed it at Neowise. And I'll show you some of those images later, but this is just kind of taking a look at, you know, what our members are looking at. So you know, these are member planned missions. And then other members have joined on to take a look. Now, this doesn't include all of us who are looking at it live. So, you know, for everybody, students, other members, the live telescope feeds are unlimited. You can come and you can sit on these all night and check out what's going on, see what other people are looking at. You can take a look at what's happening in the queue and see what's coming up. And there may be things maybe things you recognize, or maybe things you don't. You know, we have all kinds of members interested in all kinds of things, but we're all in this together and planning and learning about astronomy together, or doing, some of these folks are doing a real research using the telescopes. We have a lot of amateur astronomers. So let's jump over here to Canary 3 and just take a look. You know, maybe something that people would recognize is one of the Messier objects, one of the objects that Charles Messier and his colleagues, you know, identified in the night sky in the late 1700s. You know, looking for comets. And whenever they found something that wasn't a comet, well, they made a note of that so they wouldn't go look at it again, right? I love this story. And then, you know, those are the things that has made Charles Messier famous. But you can see here, you know, we got folks planning missions. A lot of people are planning missions to the Messier objects and the Caldwell objects. That's because we have some quests that are going on. And those quests, again, those are our labs. And I'll show you those in just a moment. But we give kids access to these telescopes. And, you know, this summer I've been running an online space camp for kids. It's been awesome. It's just, we get on the telescopes, we look at things that are going on, we talk about those objects. The kids are learning, the kids are asking questions, and then they're able to capture those images. If you want to capture an image, you just click right here. And now I've saved an image to my photo hub. You know, kids can do this, and those images are being saved for them to make observations about and to use later on in our quests. Let's take one more look at Canary 4 and see what's going on here. Another mission planned. You know, this one's planned to coordinates. So using the right ascension and declination, we're looking at something here. And for the life of me, I don't know what it is. Maybe somebody does. That's kind of what I love about coming on here and looking at the live scopes, is you never know what you're going to see. You know, someone's planned a mission out here. We can take a look, though, if we're interested in Jupiter. Well, we need to come back in just a couple of minutes. We want to see Mars, a couple more minutes. You know, and then maybe we could collect something for our Caldwell challenge here. So, you know, the telescopes are available, and we really love live. We offer these up live, and you know, we're lucky to have these 3 scopes going tonight. but it's something else. Normally at this time of night, we'd have all these scopes going, the scopes in Chile and the Canary Islands going. The only one that wouldn't be going right now would be our solar scope, because that's dedicated to the solar, to looking at the sun. So, the live astronomy, super exciting to come and take a look. We'll certainly circle back and take a look at Jupiter in just a couple of minutes. But you can see the missions last about 5 minutes. This gives plenty of time for light collection, and also allowing for lots of missions for people to plan. And certainly students are planning these missions. A lot of students are planning missions. Well, we've got some students planning missions to complete their quests. And then we've got other students who are using this as a way of working on science fair projects. So, we recently had a young woman named Michelle Park. She did research using Slooh and won some awards in the Ohio Science Fair. So she's actually going to be profiled in our next newsletter. So be on the lookout for that. So the live telescopes are a big part of what we offer. They're the foundation for what we offer. But beyond that, we also offer some really cool ways to learn about space, and those are our quests. So I want to pop over here to look at our quest, because this is where students and teachers, a teacher doesn't need to know astronomy to use Slooh for students to learn astronomy. They can learn right along with their students. They don't have to be an astronomy expert. And so, these are our examples of our quests. So for instance, this is a collection quest, the Messier Challenge. So this is where you go out and collect all 110 of the Messier objects. So, someone's a lot of fun. And, I'll just kind of jump to I have not finished this quest yet. I'm still working on it. But it's a lot of fun. So my pictures are loading. The ones that I've collected are loading up. Takes a little while because they're high resolution images. And probably my internet's not great either. So, but here we go. They're loading up. And, what happens is if you are participating in one of these quests, and you could be participating in this just on your own. We have plenty of students who come to us on their own. Or you might be participating with your class. We make it really easy, and we walk you step by step through learning about astronomy concepts. So in this particular one, you're going to learn about Charles Messier. You're going to learn about his work, and then you're going to learn about all these different types of celestial objects. You can see I've got a few images that are loading up here. And if you're missing an image, it's actually really easy to collect one. You click find, and then you can click this, and it'll lead you to a mission for the Crab Nebula. Now, actually, we can't image the Crab Nebula for another couple of weeks, so we wouldn't be able to take this image yet. But as soon as that's visible, we'll be able to take an image for that. But you can see, my images are loading up here. And what's really cool is that at the end of this quest, after you've collected all 110, they're going to load up into this poster. And this poster is going to be something you can download. Now, we've seen these before. You've probably seen these in stores or, online somewhere. You can order the Messier collection. That's really cool. But these are images that you have actually collected, right? So a student has ownership of these images, which is really, really amazing. And it really engages them. Slooh is the thing that impressed me most about Slooh as a teacher, because I've been a classroom teacher forever, and what I'm excited about experiential education. I'm excited about active education. That's what this provides: active, experiential astronomy education, and the kids have ownership of it. Now, I also noticed that my time is passing by, and so I want to jump back because let's see, I think it was here that we wanted to see Jupiter. So I don't want to miss out on some of the great stuff that's happening on our telescopes. And you can see, this was planned by one of our members, and then we got a bunch of people who've jumped on, and there's probably a bunch of other people who are on here live. And I'm just going to snap a picture because, why not? That would be awesome. We have one other thing that we offer, and this is offered to all our members, but we do offer this for students as well, as we offer star parties. So we call it Star Party Live. And the other night we had a Star Party Live where we were looking at Jupiter at opposition. So tons of missions on the telescopes planned to Jupiter while it was at opposition. You could get pictures all throughout the evening. And then our chief astronomical officer, Paul Cox, who you share the last name with. I don't think there's any relation there, but you share a last name with him. He planned, put together a quest where you could take all those images and put together a time lapse image of that, so you could actually watch Jupiter rotate. Right, that's something that's so powerful to offer to a student, is that they can go and take a bunch of pictures of Jupiter, load it up into a tool, and actually create their own time-lapse image of it rotating. We want to put this in people's hands. We want to put this in kids' hands. Students deserve this kind of astronomy education. In the education field, astronomy is really underrepresented. And so it's my personal mission to get it more represented, to get schools using this. We want to make it easy for them to jump in, even with a teacher who is maybe intimidated by astronomy because they don't know much about it. That's okay. This is a great place to introduce it to your students and to introduce it to yourself. It's a great, powerful tool. This summer, I've been doing professional development for teachers. Still doing a few of those. If anybody out there is interested, please email me. I'll get you into our professional development where you learn about Slooh and you'll even get an account that'll help you to come in. You can start your own astronomy journey and hopefully bring your students along, because that's what we really want to do, is offer this for kids. Let me jump back to my... Oh, yes. Sorry.
Yeah, so we did have a question. You showed how you're able to view the queue of what's coming up in for missions for a telescope. But does that mean that you have to be up at that time in order to snap your own pictures of whatever mission is going to come up later?
Well, I mean, Brian, who needs sleep? We're astronomers, right?
Right, it's astronomers after all, yes.
Okay, so no, it doesn't. It doesn't mean that. Now, if you go ahead, if you see something and you see these three little dots here, and you can do this ahead of time as well, you can plan what we call Robosnapping, or joining the mission. Okay, so you'll see these people have all joined. They may or may not be awake for this mission. You can click this Robosnap, and what's going to happen is I'll hit schedule. I've now scheduled the mission. I'm going to get an email reminder. So you will be reminded that you joined this mission. I might have to refresh my page for me to show up on there. But you're going to get a reminder that you've joined the mission. Now, you don't have to show up for it, though. You can get pictures taken automatically, and they'll be delivered to your photo hub. So you don't necessarily have to... Oh, yeah, there I am. So, it turns... this dark astronaut shows up when I've joined the mission. So I'll get some pictures automatically saved to my photo hub, which is really good because I'm not sure I have Messier 92 yet. So this is actually very fortuitous. Thank you. Good question, whoever asked that. I appreciate it. Of course, but we do offer live for unlimited. You can't Robosnap every mission that's there. There is a limit to that, and that's based on your type of account that you have. Oh, here we go. I think we've got Mars coming up. Is that what we've got? Yeah. Okay. I thought I noticed that in the queue. So we'll have to leave Mars up for just a little bit too. So yeah, that's a great question. You can have these saved, and you can plan ahead of time. So I showed you a little bit up here where you could do a mission setup. Mission setup is the same kind of thing. And this is really where a student would come. I'll come back to Mars in just a moment. Let me show you this, because a student would come here, and we want to make it really easy for them to find what they're looking for. So they're going to use what's called the Slooh 1000. These are the 1,000 most interesting, most imaged celestial objects. And they can choose what they're interested in, or perhaps what they're studying at that time. So, maybe if your class is studying planets, well, you'd go to planets and you'd click on that. And then what the computer does is it shows you, well, what is visible So we have these 5 planets that are visible. The reason we can't get Jupiter's moons right now is because Canary 2 is out of order. So once Canary 2 comes back online, you'll be able to get a sort of a Galilean view of Jupiter and get those Galilean satellites, which is something that's super fun to geek out on, is to take pictures of the Galilean satellites over a course of a week and to look at them orbit Jupiter, which is really cool and amazing for a student to be able to do that. You know, to be able to go and take their own pictures and see it and see them orbit. But you can pick, they can pick whatever they're interested in. So maybe they're interested in Saturn. Then they could hit preview mission. It's going to plan a mission for them. And it's going to optimize it for telescope, and it's going to optimize it for image. So, and then they just click schedule mission and they'll be on their way. Again, they'll get an email reminder of that mission, but so that they can go live if they want to. If they can't make it live for some reason, then it'll take some pictures for them. But we always encourage a live, you know, going to the telescopes live, because it's kind of cool. We're exploring space together with, you know, a group of other people. Oops, I left behind Mars. Let's go back to Mars for a moment. You know, there's other people looking at Mars right now with us through these Slooh telescopes, and hopefully this is done in tandem. Certainly is intended to be taught in tandem with a student going outside and actually, you know, looking at what's in the night sky. So learning their way around. So for instance, let me go to the Canary 3 for just a moment. And, you know, if you scroll down here, there's a couple things. So, you know, you may or may not know anything about this particular object. But if you scroll down, you get a little bit of information. You can see it's a globular cluster. You can see it's found in the constellation Hercules. And then you scroll down a little bit farther because, well, we need to orient people and students especially to the night sky. So here's our field of view, this little white box here. And then we've got our constellations and we see where we're looking at. We start to get to know the night sky. And that's a really powerful thing for a student. You know, we certainly want them going outside and looking at Saturn and Jupiter. Right now, they're absolutely gorgeous and you can see them. Or Comet Neowise. But then we also want them to start getting oriented to the night sky and knowing where to look for these different objects. So, you know, every mission from the popular objects will have that, the Slooh 1000. So for instance, here's Mars. You know, it tells us a little bit about Mars. Most people know it's a planet. And the nice thing about this is it, you know, shows where it is, you know, shows the ecliptic right here, and shows us our field of view again here. We again start getting a framework for the night sky. And so, you know, done in tandem, this is really powerful where a student is able to come and take images on a telescope and then go outside and actually see these objects. Some of them, right? Some of them they can't see with the naked eye, but still really powerful stuff. I know I've talked a lot about this, but I do want to go to our quests because those are really important educational tools for us. And so I do want to point out the quests. You know, we were on the Messier challenge, but I also want to go to another quest. Let's go to Summer Winter Celestial Gems. This is another one that Paul Cox just recently released. And this is, you know, sort of a guided tour of the beautiful objects, Southern Hemisphere, winter, Northern Hemisphere, summer. So this is really cool because, you know, these are going to be some things that students may not have even heard of. There's 12 objects here. You can see I've collected most of them. They're loading up. But these are the things that are just absolutely gorgeous right now through our telescopes. And these are all just raw, unprocessed images that I've loaded in here for these objects. You know, so, and these are all ones I collected. I collected them either live or I collected them via the mission planning tool. For each of these objects, once I collect the image, I go and I learn about it. So for instance, you know, here I am. Well, this is one. Let me skip this one because I haven't collected the Crescent Nebula yet, but I've collected the Dumbbell Nebula. And so for each of these, you're going to learn a little bit about it. Okay. And you're going to get an idea about what it is. And over time, you're going to build your knowledge base, a little bit of history, a little bit of the science of the object, a little bit of a quiz at the end to make sure you're checking, you're keeping track of your reading. And then your image loads up here. For each object, you have one of these pages. So you're learning about all these objects. And then at the end of this, after you've answered all the questions, collected all the images, you get a really nice product at the end. And this is what's really cool for students, is that they're going to get a really beautiful poster that's loaded up with their images. So you'll see that in the Messier quest, the Messier challenge, and you see that with it's.
So we've lost your audio.
What they're going to have here. It's their pictures. These are the pictures they took. Okay.
Yeah, so we lost your audio for a minute, but you're back now, so I think we're
okay. Well, just imagine the cool things that I was saying during that moment. You guys, you totally missed. That was the best part. Oh no. Well, it might have been. I'm certainly, I say some of the same things over and over again. These are the images that these kids are collecting themselves. It's a powerful thing, this image ownership. And that's one of the really wonderful things about Slooh, is that the kids own these images. And by the end of this, they've learned about these images. And then they've got this nice reminder, this review sheet with all these beautiful objects on it. They can download it. They're high res, so you could print them out. I mean, people print these out and they're hanging up in their houses. These are that beautiful. But you could also just share them online, share them on your Facebook, share them with your other students in your class. We do have a mechanism because we have the telescopes, we have the quests, and then the last thing that we really feel is very important is that exploring space together is really, really powerful. And so we have our clubs. So we have these things called our Astronomy Clubs. And I'm going to go to, this is my club page. I'm part of a lot of clubs because every club that rolls through here is Web Club. You guys might be familiar with Questa College. They're going to be using Slooh for our labs next in the fall and spring. But these clubs, I'm just going to pop down here to our students corner, because this is where all of our students who are not affiliated with a school come. We do have a lot of schools that are affiliated with us that use this in their classrooms. And each classroom would have its own club where they can interact. Now, student interactions are restricted for privacy reasons. So students can interact on their club. They can't interact with the overall community, but that's to protect student privacy. But in this club, they can interact with each other. They can post discussions. They can like images. They can comment on images. And then they can also post their own observations. And along with that, they can then like those images, make comments about them, support each other. This is how we are sort of taking the power back of social media, away from the selfie culture, and saying, hey, use this for studying astronomy. And you can see we get some beautiful images in here. We get some students talking about, look at this. This is really cool. First encounter with the Iris Nebula. This is the student saying, hey, this is the first time I've imaged this, or maybe even heard of it. That's really, really powerful stuff for a student to be seeing something for the first time, and then making an observation about it, and then having other people support their observation and make comments on that. Look at this. I am a beginner. So we all have this one in our bag of tricks, the Andromeda Galaxy. Look at that. This is awesome, right? Really great stuff. And so, that the clubs are a really fun place, And when a classroom has a club, it's even better, because you're with your students, you're with people you already know. They're so supportive of each other. They're commenting, they're liking their images. They're having a lot of fun with this. Students really enjoy this interface. They have a good time with it. And at the same time, they're learning some really, really robust astronomy and science. It's really just learning how to observe, leading to questions, and then going from there. What I want to do, I realize I'm going over a little bit in time. I want to show you just a couple of things, and then I'll stop talking and let anybody who has questions or something ask me some questions. But I want to show you some of our shots of Comet Neowise. This was on the Canary 1. This is on our plane wave telescope. So, this was earlier today, actually. We had a bunch of missions planned to NEOWISE earlier today. You can see if you go to it live, you just take pictures here. We also have it in mono. So, if there's a value to looking at it in some different perspectives, if you're looking at sort of, you can see some of the details pop out in these different images that I have here. Also want to share this. This is something that was shared by one of our members. We have member shares all the time that are really impressive. This is supernova in Messier 85, and you can just see it. Like, here's June and March. March of 2019, June 2020. Look at that. It's just amazing to see that supernova just appear here. And then finally, I want to show you one last montage. This is one of our higher level student quests where they learn about stars. They learn about stellar life cycles, and then they learn about cosmic recycling. And at the end, they have this beautiful montage made up of images that they've collected. They've decided the slots that these go into, and then they can see how stars, they've learned how stars form, they learned how they die, they learned how they're recycled, and the importance of that in our universe. So with that, Brian, I think I've talked enough, and maybe I hope I haven't overstayed my welcome. But
oh, not at all. Yeah, I'm enthralled. And
so
sure
good.
Else is online too.
So, good. Well, and I want to leave some time open for questions, or we can just pop back to the telescopes while people are asking questions, because I'm sure, I don't know if you're like anything like me, you want to see what's going on,
Yeah, we've had some new people join, so let me switch screens for just a moment. I just wanted to go ahead and say welcome if you've been watching for the whole time, or if you're joining us fresh. This is Central Coast Astronomical. I'm here with Russ Glenn from Slooh, and he's sharing about the robotic telescopes that students, or really anyone, can have access to with their subscription service. And so I want to put the request out again. If you have any questions that you'd like to put up to Russ, now's the time. You can email them to questions@centralcoastastronomy.org. Or if you're watching from a smart TV, don't have a keyboard connected to that Roku, then you could text using your phone to 805-242-6415. And we'll watch for those questions. And Russ, something that I'd just like to add into your queue, you mentioned geeking out about the Galilean satellites, and I completely agree. I think that our audience would like to geek out a little bit about the telescope equipment. I was wondering if you might pick one of the telescopes and tell us a little bit more about the setup, as robotic astronomy is becoming more and more popular. So I know people would be interested to know what Slooh is doing to enable that type of use.
Yeah, sure. Let me actually share just an image from earlier tonight. Is that okay if I share this?
Oh no, absolutely. Yeah, I just wanted to kind of cue that question.
Yeah, yeah, sure. And one thing that we're doing more of is I don't know if it's more of, but we're doing a lot of it. Are Star Party Lives, and we had one earlier today where we launched a new quest. Our Paul Cox launched a quest, and this was an image of the waxing crescent moon earlier today, using the Canary 1, which is the scope that I've kind of been, I guess I haven't been really focusing on it, but this is really cool to see this. And this is going to be a series of star parties that we're doing live with our members. Any member can join. Today we had, I think, 65 people live, and then probably a bunch of other people looking. There's a show page on Slooh as well, talking about the moon, and also just doing a quest together. So we're like doing this quest together. Here's this beautiful waxing crescent moon. And what we'll be doing is all through the month, we'll be taking a look at the different phases of the moon and doing a quest together. So, enjoying the community that comes out of being together, being excited about space, learning about space together, having the opportunity to ask those questions. So I just wanted to show this particular image because I was kind of blown away by it. And
yeah,
wanted to show
that's a really nice image.
It's beautiful. Yeah, it's great. Such great definition right along the Terminator. It's just awesome. And now I'll go take a look, and I actually want to turn us toward our guides, because this is a really fun thing about this is if we go to our guides, we actually have a nice, wonderful guide about our observatories, and it gives you a lot of context for sort of, okay, where is the observatory? What does it look like there? And then we also introduce our telescopes here. And this is where, if you're very technical, you can leap into this. It tells you all about, this is our this is at our flagship observatory. This is our biggest telescope. And we have people come look at this and go, well, what's a Dahl-Kirkham telescope? What does that mean? And then, so we actually provide that information in our guides. So further, one thing that we really aim is to sort of be a one-stop shop for you to learn all about not just astronomy and astronomy objects, but also about telescopes and telescope viewing. So for instance, if we go back, let me go back to the guides here. We go back to this guide, and we go to our next page here. We go to our guide to observing. If you're interested in telescopes and the telescopes that we have here, we've got it all laid out here. This is a great place for and a lot of physics classes use this particular, when they're studying optics. It's a great way to study optics, is by learning about telescopes. This talks about, basics of the telescope, and then it gets down. The nice thing is that they learn all this, and then they're going to get into the actual specifics of the telescope, and then they're actually going to get to use these telescopes. As we get down here, we get down, as I mentioned earlier, people are wondering, well, what's a Dahl-Kirkham telescope? And here we go. It's right here, and then they get to go and they get to use it. So it's pretty amazing that they get to go and they get to learn about the telescopes, and then they can go and actually use these telescopes for themselves. And at the same time, they're learning, hopefully, and it depends on what the class is trying to get across, but you certainly could use this as a method of actually learning about different telescopes and getting a feel for what telescope should I use to view what object. I want to look at a nebula. What telescope should I be using? Or I want to look at the Galilean satellites. What telescope should I be using? So, cool stuff here, and then always leads us back to our more detailed information for people who are interested. So I hope that answered your question.
Yeah, thanks for. Oh, absolutely.
Or at least dug into it. I mean, there's.
Yeah, well, I've seen the preliminary guides. I'm definitely going to dig more into those. So I did have another question from online. Michelle was wondering what the pricing is for students. They were saying here that they're actually, after watching this, considering to do this for their K through 12 education in physical science.
Yeah, I mean, our prices. So, I mean, I'll give you our sort of regular prices, and then education prices. We cut those down. We want students to use this. We feel it's a really valuable thing for students. So a normal student membership is $50 for the year. For a school, we start down at 20. So we slashed the prices down to 20 for that. And then if you buy in, if we get more and more students involved in one account, we can get the price down even as low as $10 for the year. And that's a calendar year. So, it certainly for a school, it would get them using it for the school year, and then they'd also have it for the summer. So, if you wanted to sort of do, have a summer enrichment program, if the students already had accounts, you could use it for your summer enrichment program as well. So, my job is to get this into as many schools as possible. I think it's a fantastic interface. It's why I joined Slooh. I'm super excited about it. I think it's really valuable. I think astronomy is underrepresented and I want to see students learn this. It's really important for them to have a cosmic perspective. I don't want cost to be an object. So I would say, reach out to me and let's talk about it if you're interested.
Excellent.
So
Great.
Michelle,
And so, oh yeah,
reach
go
out.
ahead. So I just, Russ, put your email address up on the screen.
Thank you.
Russ@slooh.com, you bet. So this is the way to get a hold of you, right, for more information?
Yes, please do. Please reach out. We can schedule another call and talk more. Or if you have a group of students who are looking for a star party, let's do a star party. This is fun stuff for me. We want it to be fun and engaging for the kids. And it is. I mean, it is fun and engaging for the kids. So, yeah, reach out. Happy to talk more about it.
Awesome. Very good. All right. Well, I'll put out one final request for any additional questions, if anyone has, for Russ. Maybe even if it's an astronomy question, now's your chance. Remember, that could be questions@centralcoastastronomy.org or text it to that phone number. Well, Russ, while we're waiting for any more questions, I want to extend a thank you for joining us tonight. This was really exciting and informative.
Well, thank you for having me. Should I stop sharing my screen now, or?
I'd say, yeah. Why don't you go ahead and stop?
Okay.
I think at this moment, yeah.
Okay, great.
So
yeah,
then,
no, thank you so much for having me. This has been so much fun. I mean, I certainly am a huge fan of Slooh, so I hope to get back there someday. It's been a while. I was a Navy kid. So my father was stationed in Santiago and Long Beach, and we certainly did the coast a few times.
Yes.
Loved San Luis Obispo. So hope to get back someday.
Very good.
Yeah.
And you know, it occurred to me that an interview wouldn't be complete without asking where the name comes from for Slooh.
Oh yeah, sure. I love this question. So when a telescope moves from one object to another object, it's called slewing. So it slews from one telescope to another. We've got an alternative spelling here because we're allowing everybody to see the stars, to see the planets, to see the nebulae. So it's it's beautiful and wonderful. So it's Slooh,
That's perfect. I love it.
Yeah, I love it.
Yes.
It is. It's great. And it's, I get a lot of people say, how do you pronounce that? When they see it spelled out, it's like, oh, it's a word you've never seen before.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
But we love it. Yes. Yeah, Slooh. It's such a cool, and it just rolls off the tongue, doesn't it?
It does. Yes, exactly. So another question that came in, Michelle was also wondering, the telescopes that Slooh has in its arsenal, are those a network from different organizations, or they all belong to Slooh directly?
They belong to Slooh. So they are housed, the ones on the Canary Islands are at the Institute for Astrophysics of the Canary Islands. And the other ones in Chile are down at the Catholic University in Santiago, Chile. So they're housed, our observatories are housed somewhere, but these are our telescopes. So, our members are the ones who use them. And those members are, as you mentioned, Brian, they're just anybody can join. And then there are also a lot of students, so this summer we have a bunch of summer camps that are using us. There's an Upward Bound in Oregon who's using us. Pierce College Space Camp in Washington is using us for their summer programs. The Thomas Planetarium is using us for their summer programs. So, we have people using us for their summer programs, getting kids looking through these telescopes. And then a lot of schools that have used us in the past, and then new ones are coming on board in the fall. And, it's exciting, all the cool stuff that's going on and all the kids that are getting involved. I mean, I got interested in space as a kid. It's a powerful time for someone to get interested in space is when they're young, and it leads to an affinity for STEM, and not that STEM is everything. I mean, I am a science teacher, but I'm also a singer, songwriter, musician. I mean, those things are all important, but when we look at getting kids into STEM jobs, we want them to be familiar with STEM. We want them to enjoy STEM, and getting them excited about space at a young age leads to getting involved with STEM when they're older. Maybe not with space science, maybe some other science, but doesn't really matter. It's good.
I agree. That was one of the big things that I was amazed with Slooh, is the amount of expensive technology that's available for the annual fee. Not that I want to make this an info commercial, but it is pretty remarkable.
Yeah. Oh, and let me mention, we're putting another dome on the Canary Islands. So there's going to be a Canary 6. Yes. So,
nice.
That's, we want to offer as much telescope time as possible to people, as many options to people. So that's where we invest our money. We'd love to have you as a member, have your astronomical society members join us, and you guys can even look at a club for yourselves. We've certainly got other astronomy societies looking at that. So, or awesome. As members good. As well. So.
Well, Russ, thanks again for joining us. And on the chat, if you would, say a quick hi to Russ. Let him know where you're watching from, and then I will pass those on to him in an email so he can see those notes on the chat. And so, Russ, thanks again. I'll look forward to seeing you in the galleries and and in the live chat there in Slooh.
Yeah, definitely, and hope to see you on the telescope missions as well. That's my favorite part, is seeing I'm on a mission with 12 other people, and I start recognizing names and stuff. It's super fun.
See, I'm Astro Brian in Slooh. So
nice. Okay, great. I'll be on the lookout for you for sure.
Very good. You too. All right. Well, thanks. I'm going to go ahead and switch screens over, and we'll sign out. So thanks again, Russ.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and switch screens around so that we can conclude our meeting tonight. This has been Central Coast Astronomy with Russ Glenn from Slooh Telescopes. And while I have you here, I think I'd be remiss if I didn't give everyone a pointer and reminder to go out and see Comet Neowise for yourself while you have the moment. And this would be the full name. You ready? 2020 F3 Neowise. So I'm going to take a moment to share my screen. I'll turn off our website so that it doesn't block the view of the stars. And Russ, if you wanted to see it, you'll want to watch from the stream, because I'll be sharing this just straight over the stream. So I need to change. So it's of course still sunny outside in Southern California. So if we tried to look right now, it's not going to be very good. We're here at just coming up on 8:00 p.m. So what I'm going to do first is ask to, let's see, I'm going to make this full screen really quick, and then I better change screens. All right, this is better. Let's search on the comet. And by the way, I'm using the free program called Stellarium. So here's where the comet is, but let's advance our time slightly. I'm going to go ahead and request a slightly later time from the program. Let's go ahead and say 9:30. But really, even when it's starting to get dark tonight, you could go and take a look. This is 9:35, and I'm going to pause the time. So do you recognize that constellation? Here we have the Big Dipper, which is part of the constellation Ursa Major. And so this is just about the position that you'll see the Big Dipper when you're looking towards the northwest. So before you start staring at the sky, make sure the sun is set below the horizon. And then let me turn off the lower third here, wrong lower third. All right, make sure we see the full picture. Looking to the northwest after the sun sets, look for the Big Dipper. And when you're looking up in the night sky trying to find something, use stars that form a line or a curve to help find where you want to go in the night sky. So in other words, if we follow the two bottom stars of the Big Dipper, and if we go off towards the side of the opening, we're going to find the North Star right here, Polaris. But if you go the opposite direction, you form a line. And if you go right below that line, just off of what would be the back legs for the bear, there's Comet 2020 F3 Neowise. And This comet is now officially on its way away from Earth. It passed its closest point to the sun a little while ago. The 21st, 22nd, 23rd, right in there was its closest spot to us. So it's going to be moving farther out on its way out of the solar system. And what that means is we're expecting it to get more and more dim. So act now to take a look at this comet as soon as you can. I don't want to call this a once in a lifetime. As astronomers, sky gazers, we're always hoping for that next big comet. And this has been a real gift for 2020 after the year we've had. Right, so want to be sure to say definitely is if you have a clear night tonight, get out right after sunset and take a look for this comet. In my area in the high desert, which is just outside Victorville, it's on the road to Las Vegas coming from Los Angeles. It's actually naked eye, so I can take a look once the sun is fully set and see the little fuzzy spot without any magnification. But grab some binoculars or telescope if you have it and go take a look at that comet. And by the way, on our Facebook page, write a sketch. Draw a little sketch of the comet and then post it to our Facebook page. We'd love to see that input. So I'm going to take a look here to see if we have any other questions and then before we sign off. So George asked, how can you look for the comet within within Stellarium? Tell you what, while I'm here, I'll give you a really quick tutorial on how to do that. What you want to do is go to, let me make sure I get the right setting. So I'm looking at this, and this is going to be a little difficult to show on my screen. Tell you what, let me put it this way. In order to add the comet, or anytime a new object is discovered, it won't necessarily automatically be put into Stellarium. So the best thing to do is literally Google add comet Neowise Stellarium. And there have been folks already who have made some video tutorials for that. They'll do it a lot more efficiently than I will, trying to do it on the fly, poking around the menus. But I was amazed, it's very easy. Basically what you're doing is you're going to the solar system settings and you're choosing to download a list of objects in basically the planetary and orbital catalogs that they have. And you can choose from a myriad of asteroids and comets that you can add to Stellarium. Once it's been installed, then you'll be able to search on it. So I hope that at least will get you started. Well, again, this has been Brian Cox with Central Coast Astronomy. And I want to encourage you to go to our website, take a look around for upcoming events. One event I want to be sure to share with you will be our next virtual stargazing. That'll be on August 22nd, and that'll be at 7 o'clock Pacific time. Now, with our free virtual stargazing events, currently what we're doing is we're running them like a planetarium, pretty much like what I did with Stellarium to show you how to find something in the night sky. We have Aurora, our club president, who is very knowledgeable, and a very knowledgeable Astronomy Club member named Kent. They have a conversation and take us on wonderful tours of not only just of the night sky, but on constellations and objects that are viewable during the time that we have our show. So we'll share some things for August and that you'll be able to watch as we go into autumn. One of the amazing things, by the way, as we go through stargazing is remember that different times of the year give us a nighttime view of different parts of the night sky. So you want to be sure to go out often and take a look. And anytime you have questions, feel free to send those in to questions@centralcoastastronomy.org, or you could go to our Facebook page. Well, thank you very much for joining me and for joining me and Russ tonight. And we'll look forward to seeing you next time.